Hi, lovelies. I'm Queen Lovely. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on here today and talk about Summer Walker and Lil Meech. Apparently, the two are up and down social media, perpetuating a narrative that they're going together and that they fucking with one another. And I want to do a brief natal chart interpretation of Summer Walker. I will also talk about some of Lil Meech's natal placements as well, just to shed more light on where I do see the compatibility, in addition to why we see certain things from Summer Walker. So you can direct your attention to the screen right here. Let's start with her Northnode and her Chiron. Okay, so as I've said in previous videos, and for those of you that may be new here but you're interested in this subject today, the Northnode is the energy that we agree to, integrate, that we agree to strive towards. You're supposed to be intentional about integrating this energy into your day-to-day activities, because it is the sister sign, aka the opposite sign of what's on your south node. Your south node is your comfort zone. So this is the energy that you feel more complacent in. This is your subconscious energy, and sometimes it can even deal with your unconscious energy. But I would always say look to the energy that's in your 12th house for your unconscious energy, because that's what the 12th house deals with. It's what we can't see. It's the stuff that's hidden. So with her being a Libra North Node, as well as having her Chiron in Libra, but let's just start with the North Node, right? Partnership is something that her soul is entitled to, and dare I say, requires in this lifetime. But what do I always say, right? There's the unevolved and then there's the evolved modality of each and every sign. And hell, you can even say aspects, because we're all on this journey of learning, which comes from living. And none of us, myself included, are going to always get it right on the first try. Sometimes you will get it right, and that will be well within your destiny and your journey. But for the things where it's like, I have to work a little harder, I have to be a bit more intentional. I have to constantly retrace my steps. But then when I get back up, I make it a bit further. Then I fall down again and, rinse and repeat. That's part of your process for you to master in this lifetime. So it's very interesting that we've seen this dynamic with Summer Walker, if you will, where, she's been in three public relationships now. And out of the two of the three relationships, she has produced offspring, children. She has her one daughter who I think just turned 2, with the well-known producer who she also had a professional relationship with, London on the Track. That was very messy as it wrapped up. Um because she said he was a narcissist. He already had 3 children across 3 women prior to that. So even before things went publicly sour between him and her, she would constantly be going back and forth with the mother of his other children. And then she circled back to somebody who had always been in the background, said that he stepped in. It was a father from day one. And it's possible that could have been love bombing. We won't ever know. And then she got pregnant and had twins with him, and even tattooed his name on her face, and they were supposedly engaged. Um, she came out towards the third trimester, I think it's 3 trimesters, y'all let me know, of her pregnancy, and announced that she was no longer with this Larry dude. And she did her projecting thing about why she rather be single, and how women are getting beat up and smacked around and cheated on and disrespected in their marriages. That's the company she chooses to keep. I can't relate. The women that I know that are married, they're doing just fine. Not perfect, but it's fine and it works for them. Um, so it's very interesting. And now she's in this public, whatever this is, with Lil Meech, who was born in 2000. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, yeah, I just don't know. I don't think I've ever spoken to a man that was born in 2000. It's something about that just is kind of kiki for me. Like, honey, summer, okay, but nah, I'm joking. He could be an old soul. You never know. Hell, I was born in 1995, and I'm sure if before I say my age, some of y'all be thinking I was born in like the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s. So it is what it is. So I say all of that to say she has it at the 8th degree. Okay, let's start with that. Her North Node is at the 8th degree. So this is a Scorpio energy as well as a Saturn energy, right? Saturn deals with limitations, it deals with restrictions, it deals with delays, and it deals with suffering. It also can deal with harsh lessons, and it deals with karma, okay? And I believe for her, if she doesn't learn how to not be so impulsive, right? So now let's look at the fact that she has Saturn in Aries. And we know, once again, Saturn is the governor of Capricorn energy, right? And it represents everything I just said: restrictions, limitations, delays, um, harsh lessons, karma, suffering, right? Hard work. It also can deal with success over a long period of time. So, what's interesting is she has it at the 0 degree. So, this means that this is a brand new karmic journey for Summer Walker in this lifetime. And what does Aries deal with? Aries deals with being impulsive. It can deal with being selfish. It can deal with fast paced movement. It could deal with competition, war, and all types of stuff. So, with her having Saturn there in this lifetime, she's supposed to learn how to discipline, because discipline is also another factor of that energy of Saturn. She's supposed to learn how to discipline that impulsivity, right? And to have her Saturn in the same sign as her South Node, this is some karmic energy that is going to be very prevalent in her life. It's not to say that it's always going to rear its ugly head, but if she doesn't make a decision to be more intentional about this is what works and this is what doesn't work, she's going to continue to create these energetic, experiences where she's jumping into it. It's all good. It's lovey dovey dovey, boom, 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 cow, cow, whatever the case may be. But it's always going to blow up in her face because that's her comfort zone. That's her South Node energy. Okay. But you're supposed to be incorporating this Libra North Node. Libra is sneak attacks, right? Libra is like, so Aries would be like, come on, let's go get those bitches. Whereas Libra would be like, yeah, we're going to get those bitches, but let's sit back and observe the field before we run our play. You understand what I'm saying? So, with her having her North Node at the 17th degrees, which breaks down to an 8, this can really speak to while she's on a quest to find and cultivate those Libra themes: love, partnership, and marriage outside of herself. It may take her a long time to get there, and she may always see that there's roadblocks. Why? Because in this lifetime, Summer, you're supposed to realize that the love that you're looking for outside of yourself, it's already within you. And that doesn't mean that you can't have both, because what do I always say? Multiple truths coexist. But I get this energy from her that she's trying to constantly take shortcuts. And I say it all the time. If she was just out here, and this is for anyone, just living for herself and doing her, that's fine. But you got 3 kids now. You have 3 kids. And see, I what I infer, and this is my opinion, okay, I can see her having this idealistic escapism type of energy when it comes to motherhood. And the reason why I say that is because the moon is conjunct Neptune. So we know the moon doesn't only represent our childhood and some of the mothering aspects that we were recipients of, but it also can represent how we will deal with our children. Okay. So you have moon that deals with the mother, and then you have Neptune, where in a lower vibration, it could deal with escapism. It could deal with delusions and secrets. It also can deal with the energy of negligence. Okay. So I can see her when she's pregnant being excited, being idealistic, feeling like, okay, this is it. I'm finally, all of these emotions and whatnot that I'm searching for outside of myself, I'm going to be able to have that unconditionally from my kids. But see, what Neptune doesn't really account for is like, it's easy to dream, but it's harder. Okay, it's harder to walk the path to have that dream become a reality. And I get this energy that when she recognizes that that may not be possible, or it is possible, but that means that she will have to hold that mirror up to herself, she jumps shifts and she goes back to what she knows, being impulsive. All right, well, I have money, I'll leave the kids at home, babysit, whatever. I'm gonna go run around with this person and that person, and I don't give a fuck. But that's that Saturn at the 0 degrees of Aries, because part of her karma will be every time that you do something that is only serving you and your ego and your flesh, and other people suffer on behalf of that, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for that. So it's a fuck you up front. I'm gonna do what I want. Da, 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 da. That's that impulsive, low vibrational Aries energy. But at the same time, you have to pay for that, honey, because your Saturn and your South Node is in Aries. You can't move like that. You can't. And see, Aries in its highest octave, instead of being impulsive, they're daredevils, they're risk takers. But with that Libra energy, right? Because Libra is an air sign. Libras, so what are the air signs, right? Communicators and the thinkers, right? So with that Libra energy, you're supposed to think long enough so that when you do make a risk, it's informed. Okay, it's an informed risk. It's not impulsive based off of how you feel. Feel your feelings, but don't allow your feelings to guide you. That's what she needs to learn. And even with her Chiron being at the 10th degree, right, which breaks down to a 1. Once again, 1 energy is sun energy. It's also first house energy, which is Aries. In an effort for Summer to cultivate and manifest that reciprocity and unconditional love and that considerate love and that compassionate love, she has to cultivate that from within and learn to be compassionate to herself and reciprocate, meaning that if you want your external to look this way, you need to constantly be treating your internal in a way that's reflective of what you want your external to look like. But the Chiron, which is the wounded healer, meaning we will acquire a lot of wounds and a lot of trauma that runs hand in hand with the properties of said sign it's in. But once you learn from that, you're supposed to pay it forward and help people. So that's where the music could come in, right? Because she's constantly making albums from places and experiences that she has had, right? But if you're not learning and growing, you're just going to keep repeating. You're just going to keep repeating. And it may take her a while because, like I said, 1 energy is sun energy. That's ego. So that's another thing. This can also deal with the fact that, yes, she genuinely seeks and wants love. Don't we all? But there's some egotistical energy to it. Like, even with her like posting pictures in his chain and, oh my God, I can't stand Roland Ray or whoever it was, but then you're on FaceTime with him and we see him in the corner. Those are egotistical things. Some of y'all will say pick me and birdish, but for lack of better words, it's egotistical because you're trying to dangle something in front of somebody's face. Even when she was with London on the Track, and she used to put herself on a pedestal above the other mother of his children and so on and so forth. So I just find that to be very interesting. And like, her Mars is in Aries. So Mars deals with it could deal with sex drive. It can deal with our passions. It deals with how we react when we get mad. Her having it at the 13th degree, which breaks down to a 4, that's Uranus energy. It's also 4th house Cancer energy. So this could make her somebody where it's like, like her explosiveness could be unexpected. It also could be real emotional, and it could be real irrational as well. Venus at the 7th degree of Gemini. This is another doozy, right? Because this 7 is Neptune energy. Gemini is trickster energy. Venus deals with our partnerships, relationships, and to a certain degree, you can look at it for what your marriage may look like. So this can deal with, and she's even said it herself. This can deal with, because Gemini is governed by Mercury, which deals with how we communicate, right? So this can deal with men, her partners, communicating that Neptune energy, illusions, fairy tales to her. You understand what I'm saying? Only for it to fall through all the fucking time. All the time. You understand? And something tells me to a certain degree that, like with her moon being in Aquarius, her Mercury being in Taurus, she knows that. But again, this Chiron and Northnode, it's karmic for her, and it's about her getting out of her ego. Now, I will say this. Lil Meech has his Venus and Aries as well as his Mercury. Okay. And he, what degrees is this at? 15 and 19. Okay. So her Mars is conjunct his Venus. So that can deal with them being attracted to one another. It's definitely a karmic relationship. That's the point that I'm making. But with his Venus and Mercury being in Aries, the same sign as her South Node, this is definitely some past life karmic relationship. And it's really funny because I remember pulling Big Meech's birth chart, and he has a lot of Aries energy. So this is Little Meech's dad I'm talking about. He has a lot of Aries energy, and he was an Aries Northnode. And I'm like, that makes all the sense in the world, because for those of you that's familiar with the BMF story, they have like this 10-part docuseries, and then they also have the show. You'll see that it makes sense. Like it just makes all the sense in the world, like how selfish he is, how hard-headed he is, how he was always very strong-willed to do stuff his way, how impulsive he was as well. It's just really interesting and really funny. So from that point of view, I could actually see how where him and Summer Walker hit it off, because Venus deals with, how he loves and how he needs to be loved. Mercury deals with how he thinks. And his Mercury and Venus is in the same sign as, Summer's sun, her Mars, and her Aries. Now, if they fucking, honey, I know a lot of women is gonna punch the air. Bitch, they are fucking down. Summer, put your IUD in, okay? Because I know y'all some horn dogs, okay? You don't need no more kids, all right, at the moment. But yeah, so I ain't gonna make this too long. We're gonna, oh shit, almost 20 minutes I've been talking. Yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think about this below. I love y'all so much. Thank you for supporting me. I've really been dealing with a lot of stuff, but God is always good, and God is always walking next to me. And I'm just, taking these opportunities to learn how to lean into my faith more and learn how to surrender and just let things be. I love y'all so, so much. If y'all want me to do other natal interpretations like this, please, please, please let me know. And we just gonna, work our way back into the groove very slowly. Mercury's in retrograde. We have a full moon eclipse on Friday. So I ain't trying to do too much, but I also don't want to do too little. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all.